I finally had a free weekend, so I thought, you know what, let's watch something new. It was either this or Ghostbusters Afterlife. I chose right. Roadhouse. This is a remake on the original with the same name, starring Patrick Swayze. Some call an absolute classic. I'll be honest, I've never seen it, and I'm not really going to review this pretending that I have. Ex-UFC fighter Dalton takes a job as a bouncer at Florida Keys Roadhouse, only to discover that his paradise is not all as it seems. So yeah, it's Jake Gyllenhaal having a crack at giving us this modern take on the story. And I guess Conor McGregor's in it too. God, I hate that man so much. This film is probably a poor choice of phrasing, but it's like an abusive relationship. There were some really great highs, mainly anything involving Jake Gyllenhaal, but some horrific lows. Every time that UFC fighter turned amateur actor entered the screen, my skin crawled and it felt like I was just getting slapped across the face. I haven't seen any of his UFC fights. Well, I think he did a boxing match once, maybe I watched, but yeah, I haven't really got any preconceived judgments on this fella. But as soon as I heard that weird Irish-American accent and that god-awful stride, hated it. Every scene he was in, hated. But thankfully, he's not in it all that much. In fact, you could take him out of the story and it's pretty much the same. Yeah, getting over it, the film had some good in it too. And like I said, it was basically any time Jake Gyllenhaal was in it. I wouldn't necessarily say he was acting his butt off or anything, but he was just giving this loose, relaxed vibe where you feel like he's just strolling through each scene he's in, having a good time. And that placid attitude feeds into the story as well. At times, this film was really funny. God, I sound so surprised there. This film's more Jake Gyllenhaal taking on a bunch of low-level thugs from this gang, and he just makes a mockery of them so casually. This one guy, I don't know how to pronounce his name, I think it's Arturo Castro. I actually want to mention him as he's just the best straight man in this shit show. You've got the rest of the gang being all tough and confrontational, and then this guy's like, hey dude, my bike's the red one outside, if you want to take it, just don't beat me up. And he just pops in and out of scenes every now and then. He's great, man, I loved him. The rest of the average villains do good to be in service of getting their asses kicked in either funny or painful ways. The rest of the supporting cast I could take or leave, honestly, not good. The love interests especially just felt weirdly disjointed compared to the rest of the movie. It's like they shot the whole film and then went, crap, we should probably put some romantic interest in there. I mean, not that Roadhouse is a smooth ride, but the interactions between what was the name? Daniela Melchior? Her and Jake Gyllenhaal just don't feel natural, and it flips on and off towards the end in some really confusing ways. And I guess the disjointedness kind of reflects on the rest of the plot at times too. The film is generally comedic and doesn't take itself seriously, and it shines best when doing so. But every now and then it just decides to be more serious than it should, and it just doesn't work. So story, not good. Characters, hit and miss to a very heavy degree. Action though, is thankfully fairly solid. There's a couple of decent punch-outs, nothing hugely choreographed or flashy, but it's enhanced by that silly humour with our main character. This isn't really a complex film, so there's not really much else to dive into, but I just think I'm still recovering from the abuse this movie gave me. It picked me up. It's such a bad sentence. Oh god. It picked me up and loved me in the good bits with Jake Gyllenhaal, and then tormented me with the terrible bits involving Conor McGregor. I watched this with some mates and had a good time, mainly laughing at it instead of with, but like any abusive relationship, this just isn't something I can recommend. Okay, maybe I should let this metaphor die out. It's not a good movie, but I had enough bits to have fun with, enough to not regret watching it, I guess, and I think if you're a fan of Jake Gyllenhaal in general, that might pull you through too. Anyways, that's Roadhouse. Have you seen it yet? Came out on Amazon Prime last weekend. If so, let me know what your thoughts are down in the comments below. If you liked this review, feel free to like and subscribe and all that. And as always, stay tuned for more reviews on movies, anime and video games. Until next time guys, take care. Bye bye.